You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 308 for Sunday the 5th of April 2020.
Where dreams begin.
Well, hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. But this week I don't just have the lovely Jane. There is a trio of beautiful dream girls to chat through, munch through and digest some of this week's topics. But firstly, let's say hello to my partner in crime, the delectable Jane Phipps. Hello, my lovely.
Hello, my dear. How are you doing?
I'm good. Week 2. Yes.
So...
It's
like a big countdown, but for all the wrong reasons, isn't it?
It is completely. I don't know what's going on with my Disney Countdown app because it's just going into meltdown because there's no point counting down to a trip if it's not going to happen.
No, this is very true.
But as I said, it is not just a duo this week, it is a trio, and we have our wonderful, our gorgeous Becky Manion on the show. Hello, Becky.
Hi, girls. How are you?
All the better for having you on the show. How are you doing, my lovely? Because I know you've been busy cancelling your trips.
Yeah, all a bit depressing at the moment. I was due to go to California next month, so maybe about 4 weeks' time now. But we've postponed that one to November. I've got a cruise in September, but nothing's really happened with that one yet. But I don't know. I'm feeling that it's not going to happen.
I think being realistic... I think a lot of people are thinking travel this year is probably not going to happen. And if it does happen, it'll be a marvellous bonus.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I will say that as well.
You know, going to start speculating and say, oh, the parks will open on this day, because we just don't know. No. Nobody knows. And it's really starting to get to me, all these posts saying, will the park be open for the 1st of June? And will the park... We don't know.
I know.
Because none of us knew we'd be in this situation 2 months ago, a month ago even.
Yeah, it's gonna be a forever changing goalpost, isn't it? Until the powers that be get their acts together, then there's no way anybody can start to speculate about when things are going to be lifted and when things are going to be open again.
Yeah.
I know.
And as our trips get closer and closer, we just have to follow through the cancellation policies and make contingency plans. And I know Tom and I will be talking about some of our contingency plans on an upcoming Patreon podcast. So if you want to have a listen to that, pop on over to patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls and it'll tell you how you can acquire it. But let's get on with some bits of news. And I know we're trying to keep this podcast upbeat and escapism, but I do really think we need to talk about some of the announcements that came out of Walt Disney World and Disneyland as of recording today, which is the 3rd of April, and they have decided to furlough, a new word we're all now getting very, very familiar with, executive, salaried and non-union cast members in the USA.
Wow.
So at least the cast members will have peace of mind that they will have a job to go back to.
True.
And the employees, but obviously financial situation is not great because I know myself from my other half, he's relying at the moment on the money that we get from the government because he's had this happen to him. And I really do worry because from what I have read in the United States, things are very different financially as they are here with what the government is offering people. So I just, rather than delving into it, I just really want to, pass on lots of loves and hugs to the people that made our dreams possible on our trips and hope you guys can get through this.
Yeah, these are very strange times indeed, are they not?
Yeah, I know it's, I was reading as well, some of the cast members had literally left homes, hadn't they, and gone to set up and start their year there. And then within days of them being there, they've had to basically either stay there and find somewhere or pack up and go home, but all within a week of it happening. And I was just like, oh God, can you imagine you've had that to look forward to for so long and then be like, no, you don't have a job anymore. Devastating.
Heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is. Our hearts and prayers go out to everybody and, just keep yourself safe because at the end of the day, you have to keep yourself safe because there are some heartbreaking stories out there about how this horrible disease has impacted people's lives.
Yeah, Definitely.
Let's have a look at what they're saying with regards to the annual passes.
Okay.
And there is the possibility, if you wish, to halt payments on your annual pass and also to extend your annual pass. Now, I know this is going to apply to mine because I've got an annual pass for Disneyland, which was due to expire on the 24th of December. So whatever the theme park is closed for will be added onto that annual pass. So I can either take use of that and hopefully get some trips in afterwards, or get a partial refund of the element that has not been used. Have you got an annual pass in place at the moment, Becky, anywhere?
Yeah, I've got one at Walt Disney World and it's due to run out on the 28th of April.
So you'll get a couple of extra months added on, maybe, you don't know, yeah?
Yeah, but obviously if there was the one for a partial refund, I'd probably do that because I had no plans to go back to Florida this year because I was going to go to California. So I don't know if it'd really be worth me extending it, even if it was for a month. Like, I don't think we'll be really traveling that far at the moment anyway.
Yeah, because as listeners will know from when you've been on the show, you've got to be extra careful because of the conditions that you have.
Yeah, so I'm on the vulnerable list. So I was one of the first ones to be told about the 12 weeks anyway. So I obviously was thinking maybe they would protect us longer and maybe others could travel and go about, but they might tell us to be a bit more hesitant. So I don't know. Like, obviously, if we're not at the top of the list of looking after, but they're still going to be nervous about us, I can't imagine them encouraging us to travel, and especially with me on a cruise, I think they're like no-nos at the moment.
And that's because of your cystic fibrosis and diabetes.
Yeah, so I'm actually listed for one. They actually knew what it was. Yeah, I would probably say because I paid in full, like last April. We obviously had, the 2-week pass with the UK guests, and on the first day we went to guest services, and I kind of upgraded it. So I have paid in full for the whole year. I don't do like monthly payments or anything. Even if there was a little bit to come back, I guess I would do that. But I haven't been contacted or anything.
I think they're saying that information will be out on the website over the next couple of days. So maybe by the time this hits the airwaves, that information will be present, because I imagine that the Disney execs are just overwhelmed with, the logistics of everything that's going on.
Yeah, so I know it's slightly different, but my friend Kirsty, she's a travel agent, so her just trying to postpone our May trip to November took over 3 days. She was just like on hold and on the phone to people, and obviously she's a travel agent, so she was kind of like a step up from us, and she said it was just an absolute nightmare because obviously we had different elements to the trip, and obviously everything had to be moved, and that was a nightmare in itself. But can you just imagine those poor people with all that abuse on the phone as well?
Yeah, patience and tolerance, everybody. I know our friends over at Diz Down Under, Kat and Lewis, have had a refund on their flight with Qantas, and it took Kat, I think she said 4.5 hours to get through and get it sorted.
Oh,
yeah. Can't imagine being on hold for 4.5 hours.
I know. And then she still hasn't got anything through officially from Disney Cruise Line that actually says their cruise is cancelled. But if it isn't, they can't physically get there anyway because there's no flights.
And when are they due to go?
They were going on the transatlantic Miami over to Barcelona, going at the beginning of May.
That's not happening, is it? You'd think that'd be cancelled by now, wouldn't you, really?
You'd hope the information will be coming out. I know with my cruise, my payment in full was due early March, and they've extended it another 30 days, so that will be up in the middle of April. And once we pay that payment in full, if we do get cancelled, what will happen is that then becomes a future cruise credit, FCC, for another cruise. But if we cancel before the payment in full date, we get our deposit back. So it's a lot going on with people's trips and juggling all of these things out. Because at the end of the day, when you've paid money out, these companies are benefiting from the interest on the money that you've given them as well.
True.
Anyway, let's move away from all of that And we're going to talk a little bit about Becky's travels because, as you know from her wonderful blog, Becky loves to travel, and she's been on the show before to talk about her cruise trips, her Walt Disney World trips, and this week we're going to have a little look at a trio of brunches that Becky did. She's going to give us all the information, we'll chat through the menus, and then at the end we'll decide which brunch we personally think would be the best, and then we'll move on for some more discussion after that. So, Becky, over to you. Where are you taking us first?
Can we start with the Rise and Shine Southern brunch? I mean, if you fancy a little bit of that right now.
Oh, do you know what? I can just about taste the brilliant, gorgeous biscuits at Chef Art Smith's at Downtown Disney right now. They are amazing.
So I didn't have any biscuits, but brunch is literally my favourite meal. And on my last trip, it was just me, my mum and dad. So it was a little bit easier to get reservations. So I think before it wasn't like the big day of booking, but we had a little browse, and we got a booking on Saturday. I think it was about 11:30 at Chef Arts. And I had been meaning to go to this brunch for like the last few times, but it hadn't quite worked out because obviously it was in bigger groups and we had like a lot more on our to-do list. But this one, we had decided that we were going to kind of take a step back and go a bit more chilled. And also I'd been really ill before we went, so I physically wasn't doing a lot anyway. So we had it booked. Obviously it was a Saturday morning, so it was rammed. There was not a seat in the house spare. So I'm glad we did make the booking. We did have the Disney dining plan again with our booking, so it always feels like free food, right? So it always feel like really like special. And obviously with the dining plan, that has changed now, so you do get a cocktail, guys. I mean, I don't care if it was Saturday morning. I was having a cocktail with my bunch because I can.
In the past, you've talked about the California Grill brunch, which you've been to.
Yep.
Is this the same thing where you pay a set amount, or is it menued items?
It's a menu one, but obviously they came along and said you get like the drink, and I think, because I'm not really a starter person, but I don't remember there being a starter, but I think it was, when they have like the big main meal bit, it was like one of them and a drink, but the main bit was quite big, really.
Okay, I know you didn't have a starter, but let's have a little look at the sunrise starters that you can choose from. And to be honest, they're not exactly keto friendly for me and Jane, so we're going to have to be a little bit indulgent here and pretend we're not keto followers. And you've got a choice of biscuits, donuts, fried green tomatoes, or devilled eggs. So out of those, Becky, if you had a chance to go again, what would tempt you?
So if I went again, obviously I would have like a different main. So really, I don't know. I'd be torn between the donuts and the biscuits because now you said that.
Oh.
Maybe the biscuits go for savoury to start.
Okay. They sound good, and they're the cheddar cheese ones, and they come with some blackberry fig jam or gravy, and $8 is nothing because that portion is huge.
What would you have, Jane?
I'm going to go for what probably is the most close to being a keto option on there, which is the deviled eggs.
So we're all going to have something different. Maybe we could share and try each other's.
Share? Michelle doesn't know the meaning of the word share, do you?
I'll share because I will get the donuts.
Okay.
All right.
Are you just ready for the description of these donuts?
Yes.
Mini iced donuts piled with pecans, bacon, and drizzled with house-made caramel, or dusted with sugar and served with spiced cane syrup and seasonal fruit. So they've got fruit, so they're healthy.
Yeah, I'm sure it counts as one of your 5 a day.
They've got bacon on them.
Yeah,
that counts as bacon.
Bacon's keto.
There you go. And nuts.
Oh, perfect. It's just all the sugar that's going to be in the donuts and all the flour in them as well. But if we get that trio, I'm sure we would have all had a little bit of each other's and shared it out a bit. And let's not bother with the fried green tomatoes.
No, nah. Not for me.
I think after that I might have to go for a little walk around Disney Springs before we took into the main meal. But what did you actually have on the day, Becky? Can you remember?
Yeah, this is so random. Like, honestly, it was the most random. I had the fried chicken and donuts. Like, I was speaking obviously to the server, and I don't know what I was torn between. I think I was going to get the French toast, but he said obviously the chicken and donuts was kind of like, like one of their signature items. And I said, you know what? I get like all of the pancakes and French toast everywhere. Like, I want something different. So yeah, I ordered that, and it was just, I don't know. I've just never had fried chicken and donuts on a plate before in the same, But you know what? I quite liked it.
What about you, Jane? What would you get?
Yeah, I think for me, the whole element of chicken and donuts doesn't really, this whole thing of sweet and savoury together. I struggle the best of times, but crikey, Bob, no. I'm kind of liking the sound of the granddaddy plate. So 3 eggs, any style, with pecan smoked bacon. That does sound rather nice, pecan smoked bacon. Grilled country ham, cheddar cheese, drop biscuit, because they do sound, and you've always raved about those. And then 2 sides to go with. So, that's going to keep me going for the day, to be fair.
Oh, it did.
And with your sides, you could get extra bacon and get extra griddled country ham as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going like as close to keto as I possibly can here, love.
I did have bacon as my side, actually. I'll have to send you a picture of my plate.
Oh.
Well,
we could all have a heart attack watching it, looking at it.
I think I'm going to go with the short rib hash, and this is 2 eggs over their short rib hash with grilled corn succotash, potatoes, onions, red bell and Fresno peppers. And it comes with the obligatory cheddar cheese drop biscuit and a choice of side, which is going to have to be the pecan smoked bacon.
Exactly. There's quite a lot on that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all actually good platefuls, though, aren't they? That are there.
And for the price range, $17 for the French toast, going up to $28 for the chicken and donuts. That sounds a really reasonable price.
Yeah, so I'm trying. I think my mum had the avocado toast, but she didn't have the egg on it, so she just wanted it quite plain. And I'm pretty sure my dad had the hush puppy Benedict. So again, like, we all went for like completely different options with the mixture, but let me tell you, the drink was so good. The cocktail that I chose was amazing. I would have happily sat there all day drinking that.
What did you get?
I had the white peach sangria. It was just amazing. Like, my mum, because obviously you get the drink kind of included, but my mum didn't actually want a cocktail, but she ordered the second cocktail for me so I could have that. And then my dad had the blueberry mimosa. They were both they were really nice. Like, they felt quite refreshing. I didn't want like a Bloody Mary or anything in the morning, and that's too heavy for me with food. But they just were tasting like they were really well done. They were delicious. I would 100% go back just for that.
And the best bit about brunch is you can have an alcoholic beverage without feeling guilty.
I know. It was Saturday. It was a brunch. I was on holiday. The cocktails included. Why am I not going to?
What are you going to have, Jane?
Well, I must admit, I was drawn to that blueberry mimosa because I thought mimosa's quite a classic thing to have at brunch, isn't it? And I agree with Becky, that element of having something that's kind of a bit lighter, don't anything too heavy. So I did like the sound of either the blueberry, or you could go for the princess, which is the same mimosa but with just orange juice in it. So, but I quite like the idea of blueberries, something a bit different, having the blueberries in there, the puree going through it. Yeah. What are you going to have, Shell?
I'm going to take the moral high ground here and pretend I'm not having an alcoholic beverage, but I actually am. And that's the Florida Crush, which is basically a posh version of vodka and orange juice.
It is really, isn't it? Yeah.
I will say, ladies, this place is on my to-do list for brunch when I get back to Walt Disney World. It looks amazing. The food, the vibe, the environment. I love this place. And when I was there the other year, the staff were fantastic, because if you didn't like something on the menu, they would substitute it and play around with it for you. A definite must revisit. What about you, Jane? You've not been here yet.
I haven't, no. I mean, I know that it's not extremely keto, but there's things on there that I could find that would suit my style of eating anyway. And the fact that they are an accommodating place to go to, then you know that you can, like Becky's mum did, and say, well, I'll have the avocado on toast, but I don't want the egg. It's, if you can get those things done for you, then and without it feeling like it's a hassle to get done, then it's somewhere that would intrigue me to go.
Super. Becky, are you going back again?
Yeah, I really obviously, like I said, brunch is my favourite meal, and I liked it. Again, like, you could go on a Saturday or Sunday, and it feels like a bit more kind of weekendy then when you're on a holiday there, but obviously definitely book. I know people was walking up, but it was like a 30 to 45-minute wait if you walked up. If you're hungry, you don't want to be waiting that long, do you?
No.
We already had to wait 5 minutes and we had a reservation. So yeah, I would go again.
Was there any music, any live music, for example, or anything to add to the ambience?
There wasn't live music. I think there was music played. I kept hearing quite a few country songs I recognised, actually, because we listen to a lot of country now. But honestly, the place was packed, so it was like you were straining to hear the music. So we were seated kind of by that bar in the back middle. Mm-hmm. But there was music, which would have definitely suited the area, and I quite like it inside because it's quite like country, isn't it? A bit like homesy. But yeah, it was just absolutely mobbed. But I've been twice there for lunch as well, and it was a little bit more calmer, so I would go back again.
Right, listeners, have you been? Why not send us some pictures of your platefuls that you enjoyed there? Or if you have a different opinion, please let us know. So let's move on to a different place. Where are you taking us to now, Becky?
Should we break it up by going to a character meal?
Ooh.
So this one was not planned at all. It was basically our last morning there. I think we had like a few dining plan credits left, so we were flicking through of what was available, and again there was only 3 of us, and so it was on the app, and we got a reservation the night before, so we were staying at the boardwalk again, so we were looking at kind of like stuff that wasn't too far for us to travel, because obviously it was like checkout at 11. Mm-hmm. So we went to that Trattoria Al Forno. I probably pronounced that all wrong, but it's the kind of that Rapunzel breakfast, and we got a table there really easily.
Oh.
Yes, I met Rapunzel, Flynn, Ariel, and Prince Eric while eating my breakfast.
Is this a set price, or is it order a la carte?
I think it was a set price because it was the character one, and then again, you got a drink included. This one had the croissants and picky donut Danishy bits for the table, mm-hmm. and then one bit from the entree bit, and again I had a cocktail because I felt like I needed it because there wasn't many just adults in there. There was a few excitable children, and at that point I was like, oh no, I might need something. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really enjoy this one. I don't know if it was because obviously when I normally go to character meals we're with the rest of the family, and Hazel's there and the others are there, so it's a bit more exciting, whereas it was just us 3, it was our last morning, so you have on your layers to go home on the plane. I liked the Danishes and stuff. Some of them were really nice, and that was served in Rapunzel's frying pan. But I've actually been on the cruise where it's Rapunzel's restaurant, so obviously that's really, really well themed, where this just feels like they've chucked a few things on. They did it differently, this. You know how character meals are just kind of there when you arrive and you just see them? This one, they kind of made announcements. So there'd be a little kind of fanfare thing, and they'd be and this is Rapunzel, and then she'd come dancing down the middle of some of the tables and do a little oval, and then go back to one corner and then meet everyone. And then again the same with Ariel and the others, they kind of announced them, which was that, to me that felt different, that hadn't been done before. But it was, I don't know, it just felt, it was quite dark in there, and it just felt if it wasn't for the character, it'd be quite a dull place. I know it's quite an adult one. I had pancakes for my main, and they were really dry. I had the sauce on the side, but I don't know, I didn't enjoy it as much, and I wouldn't go back there either for that breakfast, or I don't know, obviously I hadn't seen the rest of the menus for the others, but it wouldn't be a repeat visit for me, I don't think.
Well, I've got the menu in front of me. Have you, Jane?
I have indeed, yeah.
What would you be ordering?
Well, looking at what the price is, and obviously wanted to make sure that I'm getting a good bang for my buck, so to speak, I kind of am drawn to the oat grilled steak for the Royale breakfast because there's plenty of bits and pieces on there. I'm figuring, well, it's steak, therefore I'm getting a good whack for my dollar for it. And having listened to what Becky's just said, I think I will be making sure that I was taking advantage and possibly taking advantage of the cocktail as well. If we're talking a room full of lots of children.
Yes, not really.
$45 is quite a hefty price if you're not going to enjoy. And for pancakes and some pastries, that sounds quite expensive when you've compared it to where we've just eaten at Chef Art Smith's.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed. Like, and I've read a lot about this one, and everyone always seems to recommend it, either for the food or for like the character thing. And I don't know if it's because I had done the cruise restaurant with Rapunzel's Royal Table that I felt like this was a lot of steps down, or I just wasn't in that right mood on the last morning, or because we had had such a grown-up visit this time, this then felt not like that where we had done with the rest of the holiday. And like, obviously I've got no problem with people doing character meals and stuff, but we've never done it as just adults without like Hazel and like the other ones. So it just felt like a bit, I don't know, I didn't feel comfy that morning. Again, like you said, like when we looked at the price, it was like, oh, that felt like a lot, but we had to use obviously our credits up because it was that last morning. And we literally obviously just walked around the corner and went back to our hotel. But yeah, if someone was a huge Rapunzel fan or Ariel, and that's a place where you're going to see them and get the autographs, then of course take your kid there, because some of them were, like super excited and they were, like dressed up. It also felt like a little bit like when you first walked in to check in, there's that little stand check-in desk. On the opposite side of that, they had like a mini shop selling stuff, but like obviously the expensive bits. So like there was like
that's a parent's worst nightmare, isn't it?
So, and then obviously they make you wait in that lobby before you're called. So that felt like a bit pushed on you. Like, you imagine your kid hadn't gone dressed up, and then all of a sudden there's a mini shop there. That just felt like a bit unfair again for the parents, because then a kid's gonna be like, oh, can I have like that tiara or whatever. That didn't sit well with me. I didn't like that idea.
I'm getting the feeling we're all a little bit lukewarm on this place for breakfast. So shall we hop on to the next place?
Okay, so my last brunch, which was actually the Sunday after that Saturday, I had 2 brunches in one weekend. Honestly, it's amazing. So at the art festival, I don't even know, I must have seen this pop up on one of the websites when I was just like researching. Lecilia were doing a special brunch for Festival of the Arts.
Oh, yes, I've got this up in front of me now.
Yeah, and obviously, because again, it was me, just my mum and dad, and we were like going to take it easy. I wanted to do a few new things. I mean, obviously, I've eaten there for dinner, but this was just literally a brunch just for the arts. It was expensive, and I think it was 2 credits each, actually, now I think of it. But my dad was like, oh, wherever we're there, if we're going to do it, let's do it. So the reservation was really easy to get, but I think that's because many people didn't know about it. So I was on, I think it was WDW Magic, and it kind of popped up, and that was when I was off sick. So like really quickly, I was just like, I'm just going to check if I can make a booking. And I could, and it was one that you had to put obviously your credit card down to reserve, which is fine. So I got that within like minutes of it being announced. So I got it. And again, I think that was only the weekends from what I remember, but it worked out like the way our days fell. So that was on a Sunday. And again, we could, because we were staying at Bordeaux, we just could walk around. I think we walked around for a little bit. I think it was like a really random time, like 12:30. So we walked around the festival a little bit. Then went and had brunch. But then obviously, because we'd had such a big brunch, we didn't do the foodie bits that day. We went back to Epcot another day and did foodie bits, because this one was more food, let's say, more food.
So it was 2 table service credits, or $67 plus tax and tips. So that could end up costing quite a bit of money, about $90. And at that price point, it's not too far off paying a little bit more for the California Grill one. So how did it stack up?
Again, I know it's called Lestilia, which means the cellar. So obviously it's like super dark in there. You know, you're like squinting to look at the menu, and you're like, "Am I getting old? Can I not see? Can they turn the lights up?" Honestly, I don't know what's happened to me. I'm just old now. It was very like, you know, when you feel like you almost have to whisper because it was like so quiet in there. So you're looking, but you don't want to be the loud ones, but then you also have to speak to be able to hear each other. So like the atmosphere is very like subdued and like, and they've done it so there wasn't, you know, when they do it so they don't really fill it up. It was only like maybe half full of restaurant, like, you know, the tables. I think we was at a table of 5 for 3 of us. So we got a drink included. So I think we all had a mimosa again. You had the pastries to start, which is fine, but because some of them were nice, you only pick at bits because you're like, I've still got a lot of food to eat. And then you get the starter, main, and pudding, and you couldn't really skip them. That was the meal.
Oh, so you had to have like one appetizer, one main, and one dessert.
Yeah, like I had just quickly looked at it and thought you could choose one, but they were like, it is like almost like a set menu. My mum didn't really want a starter, so I think she had the avocado toast as her main, but they gave her 2 pieces instead. But then I was like, oh, and then I was like, no, I'm here. If I don't eat it all, which is hard anyway to eat that much, I'll just eat as much as I can. What did I have? Okay, so we had the table pastries. I had the avocado toast to start, which was just, you know, like that one piece with avocado. I think I had the steak and eggs Benedict, and then the coffee and donuts for pudding. And then obviously the mimosa and some of the pastries. So we did walk away quite full, but it did feel really expensive. Like the portions weren't massive. And obviously I liked doing it because it was something completely new. But I don't know, it's just, again, that whole, like, it's that atmosphere again, isn't it? Like, obviously, and that was the day as well, that it was actually really nice weather. Like, it had been really cold when we were there again. And that day I was in T-shirts and shorts again, and it was like really sunny out, and I was kind of like, I just want some sun. Like, I want to eat this and get back outside to the art festival. And obviously it was such a comparison because, you know, it's all like figment and rainbows and art. And it was like the sky was so blue that day, and it just all like we was like it's nice. The food was nice. I don't think it was worth the money. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to spend that much cash. But again, because it's the dining plan, it almost feels like you're not spending it, doesn't it? Like it's a different concept of payment. The staff were all really nice.
If you compare though, for 2 dining credits, that's comparable to dinner at California Grill. Which would give you the most enjoyment?
Oh, California Grill brunch is literally still my favourite meal. But because I wanted to do different things, again, like I chose this. I've done the brunch at California Grill twice, and I still think it's amazing. Like, it's like so spacious up there, like the views. We've gone in the morning and it's been sunny. Like, sometimes there's music there. You know, they're doing fresh crepes. There's different stations, and you get bottomless mimosas. Like 100%, I'd go to California Grill. Like, I'm glad I've tried something new, but you know, when sometimes you're like, oh, this could be better. Like, nothing has beaten that meal for me yet.
Have you ever eaten at Le Cellier, Jane?
I haven't, Michelle. No, you have though, haven't you?
I think it was possibly our second trip we went there, and as Becky said, it's a dark cave, and I didn't like the environment. I felt very crushed, very close to the people on the next table, so I could literally touch the person sat next to me because there was like a bank of padded, you know, like seating, and there was 3 tables in front of it, so there was just enough room for you to walk down these little square tables. It was very, very weird. And we got there at lunchtime, and the staff came in and they all sung the Canadian national anthem, which I thought was a lovely touch. But it just, it didn't really gel on me. And to be honest, I wasn't over bold with the food. Now, the food, the cheddar cheese soup and the steak, give me any day at the Food and Wine Festival, but I don't think the price point and the environment for me are going to ever draw me back.
I remember you distinctly talking about this when you reviewed it the first time, and saying about how dark and the atmosphere and how crushed it all felt. So it's I see why they're doing it from an atmosphere point of view, but it's not a very enticing environment personally to want to go and eat him.
No. Like, even if I sent you a picture now of me holding my drink, you could see how dark it is. Also, when we were halfway through our meal, they did, like you said, they sat someone next to us, so they had like a 2. Like, honestly, it felt like I was like sitting with them. They were so close to me. And like, if I sent you this picture, you can literally see the corner of the table where they were cleaning it before they came. And they could have put them somewhere else. And then it felt too intimate. And I was glad we were leaving, because I literally felt like I could just been like, you all right? What are you doing later? What were you eating at the festival? I was that close to them. So
Yeah.
I didn't like that. Like, I want to talk to their, like, you know, you have to feel like you have to make conversation to not listen to someone else's. It was like that. But yeah, like, obviously I was just enticed by the whole, it's a new branch and it's a special limited edition to me. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So that's why we booked it. And obviously I was thinking for convenience for walking there. But again, I probably would have been a bit annoyed if I'd paid for that.
I think we've got a clear winner there, ladies.
I think we have. I think we're all going to Chef Arts, aren't we?
Yes. or California Grill, if that was available.
Of course, yeah. Bottomless mimosas, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Chef Arts was my favourite out of the 3.
Well, thank you ever so much for sharing some of those thoughts on your last travel. I am sure we're all totally full up now. All I can say now is I hope you're back to travelling over to Disneyland real soon, Becky.
Me too. Or can I come on and talk about my trip? Because we're hoping to go in Thanksgiving.
Of course, you are always welcome. Before we finish off the show, I just thought we'd just have a little bit of a chat about, you know, we're all sat at home, bored, missing Disney. I thought we could maybe share some ideas on how we are bringing Disney into our lives so that we're not missing it as much as we possibly should be.
True.
So what are you doing at the moment? Is there anything that you've done to try and beat away the Disney blues, Becky?
Probably the best thing for me has been Disney Plus. Obviously, that only came out last week. But watching the Imagineering story, and obviously the clips when they're actually talking in the park, and in the background you can obviously see all the parks like full and everyone happy and rushing around. I was like, oh my god, that feels like so long ago, but it really wasn't. I know there's been like a few kind of Instagram hashtags and challenges going on, like people are virtually going. And also one of my new favorite things, have you seen where people are like redoing rides in their own home?
Oh, so good.
Oh, every time one pops up, I have to watch it. I think I've watched like the Pirates one, the Splash Mountain one, the Soaring one. There's a Day at Disney one. Like, anytime those come up, I have to watch them because they're so clever and imaginative. What else? I don't know. I haven't managed. I was going to listen to like Sorcerer Radio or some music at some points, but I've not. But I think just flicking through your own pictures and stuff is always a good memory. Like, oh, do you remember we did that? And that trip was that. And obviously I'm messaging my friend Kirsty still about the hopefully California trip in November. So again, it's like excitement of something. Just little pieces, isn't it? Like, I don't want to be, well, I'm trying not to be too sad, but obviously it is when, you know, you had a holiday next month. But just little pieces. Like this today, obviously it's nice just sitting down and talking about stuff for an hour just to like get away from it and, like, you know, look at pictures again and think of like good memories. And the fact that that was only 6 weeks ago is actually mad. Well, it might have been 8 weeks now, but just little things. What about you guys?
Jen?
Well, I have been indulging a little bit Disney Plus. I've not had as much time as I would have liked to have watched Disney Plus at the moment. Although Molly seems to have hijacked it, and I think she's watched every High School Musical, every Camp Rock, every episode of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She's downloaded the Disney Channel things that she used to watch as a 12-year-old, and has just made up for the missed years of not having Disney Channel in our house. It's like every time I walk into a room, it's like, oh my god, I remember that song, and I'm scared by the amount of songs that I do remember from the likes of Camp Rock and a few others. So that's been quite freaky, really. Otherwise, it's just kind of like you said, Becky. It's just kind of keeping abreast of different bits and bobs and what people are up to in, the little chats that are going on different pages and that sort of thing. It's sometimes, I mean, I am supposed to be working during the day, so it's a little bit, I could easily get sidetracked if I'm not careful when I'm sat on my laptop doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing. So I do have to try and be good and not go down those routes, because otherwise it's like, you get down a rabbit hole and you don't get back out of it again. You realise that 3 hours have passed by and you've done no work. So I have to be very, very strict with myself. And I'm still wearing my Disney T-shirts and my Disney jewellery, but that's just me and normal anyway. So I'm still embracing it. And it's been nice to do a couple of little live Facebooky bits on the end of last week, just connecting with people. Because, yeah, I mean, thankfully I've not got anything booked, so I've not got anything to worry about in that respect. I'm gutted because we were just about to like put plans in place to book. So I'm kind of gutted that I haven't been able to do that, but also kind of thankful that we didn't go down that route. So I haven't got that to worry about. So yeah, it's just kind of keeping it there on the peripheral. And I'm desperate to watch the Imagineering story, but I've not had a chance to do that yet. So that might be on the cards this weekend. But now that Frozen 2's out on Disney Plus, and we looked last night and saw the little shorts as well, so it's like I've got a sneaky feeling Frozen might be happening this weekend as well.
Is it out now on Disney Plus?
It is, yeah.
Because I looked the other day and it was available on what is it? The Sky Plus, and it was available from the 17th of July, and I thought, oh. And then I looked on Disney Plus, I couldn't find it, but it's there now.
It's there. Go and search for it, because we noticed last night, because we went to look for it purposefully and we expected to see it on the home screen, and it wasn't there. We had to go in and search and just start typing in Frozen, and then all the different, Olaf's, whatever it is, comes up and everything like that. So yeah, definitely there.
Oh, random. Because my sister really wanted it, because obviously Hazel wants to watch it again, and then my sister wants to see it because I took Hazel to the cinema, and she's like, I don't want to wait till July, I want to watch it now. But I didn't know it was, and then she said she'd seen something say in July.
Yeah. No, it's definitely on Disney Plus, and it's the UK version of Disney Plus, because obviously the US is slightly different. They've got slightly different things to what we've got. But no, it's definitely, we looked at it last night. It's there waiting to be watched.
Ooh.
So what are you up to then, Michelle, as far as Disney goes and keeping it real?
I've watched the first Imagineering story. I've watched some of the Disney Wedding Show. I got sidetracked with Tiger King last weekend, which I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with. I've been looking at merch, and my eyes and mouth are like, oh my word, because on Thursday they brought out some dip dye spirit jerseys. Oh
yeah.
There's a Walt Disney World and there's a Disneyland, and the Disneyland has a big pineapple in the D. And it's,
is that also range everything look really summery?
Oh yeah, the summer collection as well. But I must get that spirit jersey because it is absolutely awesome. But then they also released a summertime fun collection, and there's like a new Disney dress, which I like the print. The print is yellow and pink and funky, but it's got a really high neckline. And I don't know about you, I don't mind showing my shoulders, but it literally goes up to the neck. And I can't wear that kind of cut of a dress. It just doesn't work. But there's a really cute Loungefly pineapple bag, which is gorgeous. And they've brought out a shirt with fruits and just Disney. They've brought out a fruity Hawaiian shirt, and it's a red base, and that is, I've got to get that. I don't know how I'm going to get it because I can't afford it, but it just looks so good.
I'm going to have a look now for fun.
Oh, you see, you're a bad influence, Michelle, though.
I know, we'll all be buying it. But on the Disney print, it's got Mickey bars, it's got Dole Whips. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I somehow want to get that shirt in a small, possibly a small. But yeah, it says it's for men, but
Hey,
They might not always have the best prints. I swear, like I would buy a shirt. Like I've got a kids Polynesian shirt, but it's like a little boy's one, and it fit me. But the girls always like dresses and skirts, and I don't wear stuff like that, so I always have to turn to the boy stuff. Then you look at the men's stuff, and you're like, oh come on now, where's the girls' version of this?
Yeah, $60 for this men's shirt. I'm very, very tempted to ask one of my American friends to enable the purchase. Maybe I will ask the other half to sort it out as a birthday present for me.
Can you not get annual pass discount as well?
I don't know if you can on the website.
Oh
But
that's a shame.
I have to get it ordered to an American friend, and then the American friends ship it to the UK, because shipping it direct from Disney to the UK is just ridiculous.
I've never looked because again, I'd always be like, oh, the shipping's more than the item, so I'll probably skip that.
Yeah. But as to fill in my life with Disney, oh gosh, as Jane says, every day I wear Disney. You know, I might as well. I eventually got round to making up my pressed penny display, which the coins were going back from 2017. So I've just literally finished it. I'm going to put it in the frame and have that up on display somewhere in the house. So I was kind of excited about finishing that off. I've got some Disney fabric. My lovely friends Kat and Lewis sent me some Snow White, so I think I'll be making a skirt next week.
Very productive.
So yeah, and then obviously as Jane says, we're going to try and do a lot more Disney Facebook Lives, have a chat with you guys. We're going to get some more recording out there because, you know, even if it's sharing some live audio that we've recorded or doing a little bit of a chat about a show and then putting the show on for you, you know, anything that we can help people cope in this time of need, because we're all stuck in the house, and I don't know about you guys, I can only watch TV for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I've not been we don't turn the TV on until like after dinner. Like I don't want to get in the habit of just sitting there watching it. So it'll literally just be a few hours in the evening, nothing like that. But if you want any like videos or pictures, or on the page, could we do like a theme? You know how people are doing stuff on Instagram? Like we could have like, you know, like Main Street Mondays and everyone share their favourite pictures of that. Or like a Wednesday, have like a Frontierland thing or something, and then get people involved and like thinking and looking for pictures to share.
That sounds a good plan, Becky. I'll get you on it.
Woohoo!
So guys, let's just hear from Becky where you can find out and find out more about her and contact her directly.
I'm on Instagram at what Becky did, and there's like underscores between what Becky did. I really haven't done my blog actually for ages. Once you said that, I wonder if I could do it here on my iPad. I'm on Facebook if you did want to add me under Rebecca Manion, and I am on Twitter as I think I'm at Becky Manion on there, but you could probably find me if Michelle links me somewhere, or just search me through Michelle's friends because we're friends, and Jane.
Yeah, you can always get to Becky from us, because on every show we're linking Becky's links anyway, because she is part of our family.
Ah, so cute. Thanks, this Dream Girls family.
And Jane, you've been busy blogging every day.
Yeah, I've been trying to do a bit of a diary. I kind of just thought it'd be an interesting exercise for the length of time that I've been, you know, at home, just to see A, how long it goes on for, and B, as a bit of an outlet for me, something else to do. So yeah, I've got that going. So that's on jp2mk.co.uk.
Right, lovelies, until we are back again with another Disney Dream Girls show. We're going to sign off in a moment. If you do want extra content for us, you sat around home and you're a little bit bored and you want some more Disney Dream Girls, you go over to our Patreon page and you will find over 100 shows that you can access. And a lot of them is unique content that's never been released anywhere else. So hop on over there, patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. But until next time, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Bye from me.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.